Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host, Mirko. Hope you're feeling comfortable. Chill down on your balcony or any other nice place that you like to. And yeah, enjoy your cup of tea for some live coding action in the meantime. Looking at the chat, Cusco, nice to see you again. Drinking iced tea. Yeah, in fact, that does count because I'm drinking iced tea myself. Not freshly made, but at least self-made. In the summer months, I usually make before I go to bed. I brew some peppermint tea, and you put in some lemon as well, and then you just let it wait for the night so it cools down. So in the next day you can put it in the fridge, and then so you put it into the fridge in the morning, and then you can drink it at the very hottest time of day. Or if you don't like it to be that cold, you can also just brew some in the morning and not put it in the fridge. So that does count. Which kind of iced tea are you having? Like the lemon, so I think the regular one, right? Lipton lemon. I think in Japan that's just the iced tea. Lemon, yeah, perfect. See? Yeah, nice. Yeah, that does count. So looking at where we are at, so let's see who else is there. Anybody joining us? Not yet so far. That's fine, or at least so some more people seem to be there, but Twitch does not show them to me. That's fine. I can live with that, Twitch. I can live with it. I won't cry because of that. Yeah, so last time we kind of had a jubilee. Yay! 3 months of the TypeScript tea time, starting out as, did we call it TypeScript tea time from the very beginning? I think we kind of did, but it was still another channel name. We then moved on to from Fade Out Summer to TypeScript tea time more officially. We also changed the setup slightly in the meantime. Got more people involved, which is always nice. Found some bigger project to work on. We actually found it already in episode 2, right? But got back to it again after we did some random stuff with Terraform and some more episodes. Yeah, and last time we also had a actual video, like a face video, but not this time. It's gotta be more special, right? Specialty for a Jubilee episode. If it's just a switch to a new setup, that would be boring. This way it's more special. You can still watch it if you like it. So we did manage to do quite a lot last time. In fact, so besides a few new people, so also to all the people that have been around for now 13 episodes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you're with me here, and it's so much fun, at least for me. Yeah, so let's make it fun even more. So last time we did manage to get a lot of stuff done with our DnD files. We actually transferred all the logic from the front end to the back end. Which means we can now, if we just run, for example, yarn dev, then the chatbot actually is running as soon as this starts. There we go. It's connecting. It actually does not send authentication because we do not enable authentication, but nevertheless, it joins our channel, and it actually does join. Not sure. So I don't know the IRC, Internet Relay Chat Protocol, enough to understand why it's still authenticating. It it at least has to connect and start listening. So maybe that's the thing. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's Mongoose. Connection refused because we the regular thing that I always forget. I think we just have to start the Mongo container, and this time we should not get a connection error. Perfect. So let's see this again. Even without the, so since we're not using the, let's say it like this, the chatbot is not using the database yet. They are completely disconnected. But that's what we're going to do today. So let's write ambush here, and we see, yes, an ambush has started. Let me move this to the right. So that's not better. That didn't help, did it? So let's just leave it at the bottom. Yeah, we do have an ambush. We are in the wild, and we cannot read the property HP of undefined because nobody was attacked. Nobody was in the chat. Your party is in nature. A wild bear appeared. Be prepared. The attack starts in 20 seconds. 208 HP. And since we've waited for too long without anybody joining the battle, yeah, I think we can still do it. !join in the chat. It does not work. Okay, perfect. Not perfect, but still. Let's fix this bug that we already have before we pull it over into our other stuff. So I think we fixed this last time, didn't we? Which is interesting. So the reason is why it was failing here. Interesting. We're in the JS file. Why are we in JS? Oh my goodness. Chatbot, module, service. Yeah, let's move inside of there. And somewhere we should see lose battle. Exactly. So when the monster attacks, it picks a random user. It defines it as the monster target, and if the monster target is not found, we actually lose the battle. And here we just have to return. And I think we did do this for win battle as well. Apparently, no, but that's fine. Because after this, the complete function ends. So that's good. I'm pretty sure we fixed this bug last time, but apparently we didn't. So now we stop function execution if there is no target, because right here it was having some issues. So let's try again. And I need your help now. I need your help. So I need the help of Kusto. I need the help of Academy Impossible. I need the help of Ramages. Hello and welcome to the stream. So we started again. And this time, if Kusto would be so nice to write !ambush without any spaces or anything, just !ambush into the chat, then we should start a new battle, an ambush. Your party is in another plane. A wild pit fiend, which is very fitting for the other plane, right? I hope. I think so. Be prepared. The attack starts in 20 seconds and it only has 77 HP. So if we !join into the chat, then we join the battle and it already attacked. Damn it, man, that's quick. So TypeScript T-Time joined the battle alongside you. TypeScript T-Time stand united in battle. It's only one person yet. Pit Fiend dealt 16 damage to me, having 134 HP left. But then, fortunately for TypeScript T-Time, Kostovich joined the battle alongside me. To battle! TypeScript T-Time, Kostovich stand united in battle. And so we can exclamation mark attack the fiend. Exclamation. So what do we have here? The pit fiend attacked me again. Kostovich dealt 9 damage to the pit fiend. 68 HP left. Oh, it dealt only 1 damage. In this case, house rule, something bad should happen to the one rolling a 1. And if it's a 20 or something, especially nice should happen. So let's try to actually defeat this one, because it has few enough HP so that we can actually defeat it. So attack by pushing it back into the pit. Did that work? 14 damage. Oh, it did 15 damage to Kusto. Another 6 damage to me. Oh, Kusto did a critical here with 18 damage, a good one. Attack what's how does it actually look like the pit fiend? I mean, where's my, here we go, pit fiend 5th edition. No, thank you. Ooh, this thing is, I mean, it looks terrible and terrifying, but it actually has much less HP than a Yeti or any of the werewolf. What did we also attack? I don't know. Push it into a vat of acid. Whoa, you're cruel. Attack. So it does have wings. So let's attack the right wing. Because we should fight the right wing. That's a statement. Attack once more. 20 HP left. I was too fast. Actually, it did not attack this time. Attack another time. Only 6 HP left. Kusto, please end this. End it. No. Violently didn't work. Another hit. Now's your chance. While it's trying to attack me, I would try to make, I don't know, how do you call it? Try to distract it, and then you can attack it from behind and give it 16 damage. Kostovich 1 dealt 16 damage to Pit Fiend. Minus 14 HP left. Attack, die, damn it. Victory. Pit Fiend has been struck down. TypeScript T time Kostovich earned X00 XP. Yeah. So we can now play completely in the in this chat here. Oh, what happened? Okay. Boom, great job. Kostovich wrote. High five. Perfect. Yeah. Very nice timing. Yeah. High five. Boom. Great job, everybody. So that's where we stand. In particular, it's much easier for us to actually display the app now that we have it here, instead of me having to try to open this other project and then opening a web server and then opening the web, the application in the browser. That was pretty terrible. Now that everything runs here, it doesn't look, well, it didn't look nice before, so we didn't lose anything, I think, right? And from here on, by the way, cheers everybody. The lemon flavor really comes through. Peppermint and lemon are great to refresh to give you a refreshed feeling in your mouth. So from here on, we can now go into making this quick and dirty copied basically JavaScript code that we at least moved somewhat into TypeScript, but still we use like global variables and stuff. Let's move into something more, let's say, scalable, I guess. And basically make it a complete design of an app. For that, I would like to stop this one. Or actually, we can use a picture of this one. Copy the image. And I go here in my tasty friend called, they're now called diagrams.net. They used to be called differently, but I now forgot the name. Was it Scratch.io? No, whatever. Oh, that didn't work. Copy image. Why you not work? This used to work, I think. Copy image. No. Paste. The text in it. Yes. Paste. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. Maybe the image format is wrong or something. I don't know. So let's design the actual domain objects. So we have two obvious ones. One is the monster, and one is the users. We renamed these actually into adventurer. So let's do that as well. And let's call these our, basically, the party. And from there, so we already have kind of three objects defined here, domain objects. Let's put them here. So we have the adventurer, and it's not a coincidence that it's named the same as our the thing that we did like the last few streams, which is our adventurer module and the adventurer schema. Yeah, this one, with a username, a level, and some experience. And we will extend this nice class. We'll use it now, and everything comes together. We also have the monster, and we somehow have a group of adventurers, which we call a party. And this is essentially an accumulation of adventurers. Let me make it like this, whatever. So this is not going to be precise UML. Please don't quote me on that. It's more for our understanding. I'm not following the specs here of UML, just as it is inspired by a UML, but not fully UML. So we also, what else do we have? I mean, we're basically starting an ambush, right? We're starting a random battle. So to a degree, there is a battle, which definitely has this and also has, come on, where's my, yeah, there we go. The battle knows the monster and the battle knows the party. And transitively, it also knows the adventurers. So can we write like N here? Oops, that didn't work. Zero to N, something like that, to indicate these are multiples. Other than that, what do we, anything else that we have? Anything else? We could make it theoretically that there is also a group of monsters that's trying to attack, or even multiple, but maybe let's not go that far, I suppose. And maybe multiple monsters probably makes it slightly too complex. What do you guys think? I mean, if it prints into the chat, it will like send like 5 messages in a row, and you don't really see. Yeah, to give a better degree of, so we don't. Let's look at Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy like 7. Or let's take 8, I think, because they had a nice 9 battle. That's what I'm currently thinking of, because they have this open image in a new tab. Thank you. They have these active time battle, which essentially shows you when, if this is full, a new person can, the person can attack again, the adventurer. You mean which monster do we actually attack? Yeah, that's also a question. In fact, the more I think about it, so it gets confusing. If we have multiple monsters that attack, so they could attack at the same time, but that would kind of spam the console pretty much. And spamming the console is, on the one hand, risky because we get banned by Twitch. So again, and as well as you always have to read multiple messages or just a very long message, which is, I don't think that's very nice. So it's better if it's just one message and very concise, and you immediately see, because it's stream elements, and you see immediately, like by the badges verified and stuff, that, well, this is stream elements that says something. Wait, no, stream elements isn't talking, but it's a bot, and we will mark it somehow. That, so in the Twitch chat, if you write into the Twitch chat at some point. Do we still see it? Damn it, no. I think, let me see. Help me, thank you. We did in the second, I think, yeah. I added some output here, which we can look at. That's basically exactly what we will see. And having multiple messages here kind of sucks because you do not see exactly where it ends and stuff. And it's generally just chaos probably. So I would say we leave it at one monster. That's also easier to implement probably. Where's my Chrome? Chrome, where are you? Ah, here. Put it into Chrome. Thank you. So we close that one, close that one. We have one monster. We have one adventurer. We have n adventurers. And each one kind of has, whenever the monster attacks, the counter is reset, as we currently do. But we could have it in the future and then have a special attack to attack all monsters at once or something. That's pretty cool. Man, we're building Final Fantasy and Twitch chat. Jeez. A dream is coming true. A dream is coming true for me. Having played, oh man, I did play a good chunk of 1. I did play a good chunk of 2. I did play a good chunk of 3. I did play 4, I think. Or did I play 3 completely? I did play 5 until my save game got corrupted, right before the end. Same for 6, unfortunately. Somehow my save games always get corrupted. Completed 7 multiple times, 8, 9, 10, and 12. And as of then, I did not have a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 to play the newer games, unfortunately. Oh, I did play 15. A good chunk. But it's too long, to be honest. Anyway, so it is a dream coming true. Let's see. So a monster attacks. It attacks an adventurer, I guess. So this is not going to be the signature, definitely, probably, but more like, yeah, more like it does attack an adventurer. Let's write it like this, so it's not it doesn't look like a parameter. Yeah, so maybe let's add it in the future at some point if we get bored. But probably before that we can actually add like special attacks to the adventurer and level ups and equipment and whatnot, and just have more monsters instead, attacking or stronger monsters attacking us. So also the adventurer, he can attack the monster. He can take damage as well as the monster. Attack damage. Sorry, take damage. Take damage. The party is basically just an accumulation. Oh, what just happened? Okay, let's keep this the placeholder. Like so. And then we have, so from a domain, let's stick with the domain design. I was thinking about how does a battle actually get initiated, but let's ignore that for a moment. Let's just concentrate on the actual battle and how that works. So an adventurer does have HP, and they do have an identifier. Let's call it ID. It's going to be the username. Okay. Let's call it username then. Username. They also have, but probably a private variable, which is the attack damage or strength. Attack damage at some point. Which is a function, probably. A function of the level and, I don't know, maybe a type or a class. Yeah, we can even add classes and stuff. The monster itself also has, of course, HP. It has... The name is pretty much irrelevant for the actual battle, I think. It does have... What else does a monster have? Does it have attack damage? Actually, at some point maybe. But let's ignore that for the moment. Anything else? So if a monster attacks, the adventurer takes damage. And this reduces the adventurer's HP. If an adventurer attacks, he attacks a monster. The monster takes damage, and that reduces its HP. It can die, of course. Die. Does the name count? We can include the name. but it's not relevant for the fight actually. It's more like a decorative thing, right? I mean, at least as of now, because there's only one, so you always know which monster to attack. As of one point, maybe they get either, I don't know, like they become a specific type in specific classes, like a cleric does more damage to zombie monster types or apparitions and so on. But all that's going to become important later, I think. For the battle itself, I don't think it just the adventurer attacks and that's it. So they know each other somehow. Oops, that was the wrong one. So these guys know each other. And yeah, I think that's about it for the time being. Now let's think about, did we miss anything? Let's look at the code here. So we do have ambush, we have join. We can actually join. And this is a function of an adventurer. Let's see, what else do we have in code? We have ambush, which is just this one, which needs to start at some point. We have join, we have attack. We do have the party, we have can attack, which finds out whether it can attack. We need some way to keep track of whether something has attacked. Which is probably going to be a function, which is why I put it here. Is it a function? Wait. It can just be a flag, right? Why not why make it more complicated than it actually is? Charge tag. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. I like the ideas of special attacks and stuff. Let's write them down actually. And once we have this basic design ready, let's look at what we can do with more fun stuff. Because we do this more domain-driven design in a sense, we can actually, because we're not thinking about code, we're thinking about the domain, which is the problem space. We're thinking about fighting a monster. What was I about to say? That's my train of thought. Because we split it like this, it's fairly extensible, I think. By adding more classes, like, I don't know, for example, a class. So, like, for example, type, which is an enum of, I don't know, cleric, fighter, rogue, and whatnot. Yeah. And then you basically just add an accumulation here. Basically here. And so on. Why do you need two methods to attack and take damage? Because they are... You mean on one single object? Or one single, I don't know, I would call them entities for now. Or do you mean why do we have two classes that basically do the same to begin with. Well, they are different things, right? You don't take damage by attacking. You can't attack monster, just include the monster taking the damage. I see. Let me just write down one point that I had in mind. This one needs to die as well, possibly. They could. But it has one problem, which is the monster would need to know a lot more about the adventurer than it might need to. For example, if you say we really add this, let's say we add vulnerability, vulnerable 2, and it can be like wind, fire, or water. And if you say to the monster that attack adventurer basically also reduces the adventurer's HP, then you cannot abstract this away, this vulnerable 2. With the take damage, you basically just provide the monster's type as well as the base damage. And then the adventurer calculates based on that, as well as the vulnerabilities and all the stuff that is probably not known to the monster, that the adventurer takes damage. Right. If you think from a logical side, in the sense of real nature, if you attack me, I take the damage, right? Not you take me the damage. So there's also a language wise, because it's me who's actually doing this thing of receiving, taking. So for abstraction's sake, it's going to be simple for now, but it's going to help us with some stuff later. We could make it simpler. We could. Thanks for the question. And welcome to the stream, Warzoid. Nice to see you. Having said that, I think, methinketh, we also need some way to has ended. I would have just done it inside text. Yeah. That's basically what we are going to do inside of take damage, except that you just call adventurer.takedamage, and the adventurer abstracts away how to take damage and how much damage. There are more factors to taking damage than just the monster attacking, maybe in the future. Maybe. The battle. It must start at some point. It must determine whether it has ended. It also needs to keep track of time. So to a degree, it has a timer. What else do we have? Let's look at the code again. Our crappy previous JavaScript code that we scribbled down earlier. So let's see. If the user attacks, it looks at whether the user can attack. Did we add that? We didn't. We didn't. Can attack. So from a design perspective, reset attack. So just so that it's easier for the battle to reset every adventurer's. We don't need that. Throw that one out. Never mind, never mind. The next thing is, so we have this has attacked, so that we have actual turn-based battle. And then the user attacks the monster. Does anything special happen here? No, basically we just reduce the monster's HP. We roll a dice, so we determine the damage. Which, my bad. I need to switch over here. Which, for the time being, is just a dice roll. So we can probably add this here. Okay, no, that's a detail of attack monster, I guess. We can join the party. We can win. So it has ended, and then it can win and it can defeat. Or victory and defeat. Maybe let's on. So the battle looks at victory from the adventurer's side, right? It does not favor the monster. And then on defeat. Or is that actually part of the... No, that's still part of the domain, is it? I don't know. I'm not sure whether that's part of the domain. We could... Oops, my bad. We could just say winner. And then it's basically monster or party. Or null, if there is none yet. Why is there no automatic text arrange wrap web, not web? Why does it not work? Thank you. Yep, exactly. It's not just HP minus damage. In the future. Today it is probably going to be exactly HP minus damage is new HP. So, anything else? What's our inquiry? Something else? If not, let's try to model that. All this fun stuff. Level up. Level ups are actually halfway already a bit there. So we do have levels. And so for the basic battle, I think we're fine. And then we can add some stuff basically after battle. Or meta. Like level up. Because that is it a function of the... Yeah, so it is a function in the end of the adventurer. Yeah. And he also has a level, which is... Let's exclude that for just a second. Because right now we kind of have the battle, I think, pretty much dealt with. Let's let's make everything go away. No, I want to push it down. Where was the button again? Right click to back. There we go. So this is basically the battle. And I want to have the text at the top right, top left, I mean. And then there's more stuff to come with a level up. But I think for now we can just implement all of this. Then we basically have transferred everything that we currently have into something new. Except there's also the chatbot itself, which initializes battle, as well as ends battle probably. Something like that. And this guy knows the battle. And then we are kind of in the situation that you can build up on that. In particular, for example, adding a level up system, which means this guy receives the level property, which he already has. And on end battle, we go through the party essentially and level everyone up who has achieved enough XP. Yeah, let's keep it at this for now. Okay. Nice. Let's start this fun stuff. Let's call this the domain. Just for the time being. I think we do want to import the adventurer from the adventurer. From Mongoose, essentially. Type goose. But other than that, we have monster, we have party, we have battle. The chatbot is just this thing which already exists. Somewhere. Yeah. These few lines are the actual chatbot. So we add a new file for let's stick with the monster.ts. We have battle.ts. We have party.ts. Not sure whether we need the party. Export class battle webams. And what can it do? It can start the public method. And on start, it does stuff. And it has ended. Let's see how that works. Okay, let's start with start. Yeah. So first of all, we need, well, what should it do? Determine a monster or find a monster. Then what else? It essentially the battle allows the party to start, right? And to get joined into. Oh, that's not clear to me. Allow Twitch users to, let's call them adventurers, to join the party. And then initiate turn-based. Basically the game loop also needs to start in here, which is what we are doing with this timer here. So let's start simple, which is finding a monster. I do think we have this list somewhere over the ocean. There we go. So this is a list of just DnD monsters that I've copied from this project here. Give them some love if you like to. I can also start. Yay! Love. Developer love. And he has a CSV of monster name, where it actually appears, what kind of type it is. The HP, I think, and XP, maybe? We did not include that. Maybe it's XP, but 20,000 XP for Demi-Lich. Well, Demi-Lich sounds dangerous, though. Death Knight also sounds dangerous. So maybe that's XP. I'm not 100% sure. Death Tyrant. I don't know. Maybe that's HP. Nobody really knows. So I'm going to move that with the help of my plugin here into domain BAMS because it automatically, hopefully, yep, updates all the dependencies correctly. Then, so the find monster we can basically copy from here. Monster, which is in the start, and essentially, what is it doing? It's making a copy. Man, that's terrible. Anyway. Private get get monster. Return this guy. So we do want this, and we import random. Why do you not want to import random? Random from Lodash. Thank you. Yeah. So basically it picks a random monster out of that list. But it should actually do new monster of this data here. Const monster data is this. And then it creates a new monster instance of the monster data. Let's call it just data. That's fine. And only one monster. So, is that how you write monster? Yeah. It looks weird for whatever reason. So, now we can just get monster. Const monster equals this one. And since we're talking about the game loop, we probably want to make this a variable data field. Monster equals why do we call it start? We can just make a constructor, right? Constructor. Start is the constructor. And then we do this, and we say this dot monster is gleich equals my bad. This point get monster. There we go. We have a monster. Now we need to at least say export class monster with BAMS. There we go. It does not have a constructor at this point, which it does need though. And so the question probably arises, why do we not make this also like a mongoose thing? The reason is we don't need to save it, right? The monster is there for, let's say, 10 minutes at best, and then it's gone. So there's no real reason to include it on the database level. Or maybe at one point, there's a very cool system inside of, I think, Lord of the Rings Online. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't play it. Not online. That is a thing from recently, 2020. Yeah, maybe that's the run that I'm talking about, 2007, but maybe not. One of the Lord of the Rings games had a system where you did multiple anti-heroes multiple times, and they did remember you, and they told you, oh, this time I get you, this scar that you gave to me, I will not forgive, and until I get my revenge. It would be pretty cool that if we lose a battle because nobody's there, or too few people join the battle, then the monster comes again at some point. But let's ignore that for now. Fantasizing about the future should be allowed. We definitely can import monster now. Thank you. Now it says, okay, this does not receive any arguments. Oh no, surprise, surprise. We can, however, add a couple of things here, which okay. Data. So we have, this is the interface that we get. We do not need the type right now, and we do not need the area right now, as far as I know. And do we need we do need the name, right? The area, the area we need, because we have, there we go. We do need the area because it's displayed once in the chatbot. We can delete the type though for the time being. So this is all the data, and now we need to make these into fields, and we do that by just saying so, and we do public. And did I miss something? And then we say this dot area equals area, this dot HP equals HP, data dot name area HP, and this dot what else do we have? The name equals name. There we go. Very basic. It would have been possible, by the way, to do something like this, in fact. And I do like that syntax, but as we do not know, so my bad. Yep. This is also a valid TypeScript, and we don't need that. It looks a lot nicer. The problem is it does not really work when we want to pass an object. And I don't know what we want to pass in the future. So what do you guys think? Should we do this and then, because now we have to do data.name here and data. What else do we have? Area and data.hp. So we can do it like this, or we can do the opposite and can just pass data here. Do you prefer one of these two ways? If so, which one? In the meantime, I drink some more tea. By the way, Warzoid. So, which kind of beverage are you drinking right now? It's always the important question here. For me, it's currently a peppermint tea with some lemon inside. Particularly, it's cold, so it's very nice now in the hot summer. Dum, dum, dum. Okay, so then let's stick around with this version. We pass everything one by one. That should be fine. You can go here. And that makes our monster class very, very neat and small. From there on, we need to allow adventurers to join the party. So we do have a party here, which is an array of adventurers. And I don't want you to import from there. I want you to import from .. /.. from there, which is just a class. So we can actually probably just give them properties as well. That's at least my hope. Probably pass all three at the same time, like so. Yeah, then let's do that. Works both. Works both. And it makes this problem. Which class is the one that's going to be? Yeah, it's fine. Let's just leave it at that. So we can already initiate. That's fine. The party is just an array, and we can always initiate an array on empty array. And from there on, we need to allow adventurers to join the party. Now, this is going to be interesting. So how does this work? We basically have the chatbot, right? Which receives messages from, so I don't want any Twitch logic inside of the battle class or the monster or the party or the adventurer, except for maybe the name. Everything else should be abstracted away, so that basically we can completely take all the logic and put them like in a game, or put them inside of, I don't know, YouTube, whatever, YouTube chat. Not that we do that, but still, this kind of neat separation of concerns and abstracting away all the Twitch specific stuff from the actual game logic will make it more portable, and also I think easier to think and reason about it. So what I do want is inside of this handle message, which gets automatically called whenever we receive a message. So by TMI.js, where is it? Here we go. Very neat library for those that do not know it yet. Did I look at the right one? Finding with a website is always a bit annoying for TMI.js. So coming back, where is our handle message here? So if we receive this message !ambush, then we did save everything, so we didn't. Let's stage all of these changes, because so far we did not do much except fixing one bug. And in that case, we just say episode 7.13, which is a fix. Error game battle not ending on defeat. That was our bug, and from now on we can just work properly, and we can actually change this without fear. So let's look at this guy. So basically what we want here is we say new battle, right? And from then on, stuff happens. Yeah, we say new battle. If somebody joins, we can say something like new battle.party.join. Do we want to forward or do we want to have the dot? So we could also do this and then basically just forward from we do not have a party object, right? Yeah, we do not have a party. So let's do public join. And we do want the username, I think, which is a string. And this says basically this dot party dot push. And we do add a new adventurer with, let's see. Let's see. In particular, I'm not 100% sure now about. So in theory, this is fine. And we pass in the username here. What I'm slightly confused about though is how it plays together with our wait, why is the battle responsible for creating an adventurer? It's not, right? It's actually also not responsible for creating them. Well, the monster only exists for this one battle, but the adventurer exists for more than the battle, probably. So maybe we should instead do something like this here. Whoops, my bad. Const adventurer equals and where is the where's the actual class? Here it is. Okay. So far we do not have access. So now we need to handle about NestJS in particular because we want to save this stuff. It would be easy if we could just new adventurer here. And to a degree we can, but I don't think that's the correct way of doing it, in particular because it also has to handle all the MongoDB stuff, and it will not set it up if we just say new adventurer without anything else. So what we need to do is probably we have to ask the adventurers service essentially dot does it make sense to have a separate monster object and to additionate it instead of handling it in get monster? Yeah, it's a good question. And so the question that I ask is, when does the monster exist? And the monster only exists inside the battle, while the adventurers persist. There's adventurers like you and Kusto, Vorzoid will stick around, but the monster will just be away. So I don't think there's much benefit in putting it elsewhere. We can do it. We can put it into the chatbot if we wanted to. And then the battle basically is just the game loop. That's also fine, I think. Yeah, that's also fine. For the time being, yeah. The question is, do you value consistency more or simplicity of the chatbot service? And in this case, I don't know. We can move it later if it disturbs us. But for the time being, I would just leave it in the battle, even though we do not really do dependency injection with this. Yeah. I would just leave it here for now. We can still inject it, I mean, it's the first line of the project of the class. So basically, you just do monster here, and then you do this. If you want to move it out later, so it's trivial to move out at any point later. That's it. Let's leave it as is this moment. Thank you. So we want the adventurer service, and we want to create a new one, I think. And we want to give it a username. Okay. Now comes the fun stuff. And then we want the adventurer to join the battle. Battle.join. Oh, give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. My bad. So what happened there is that my neighbor came to get their package. Okay, so that said, currently it's a function without any scope because it did not use any of the class methods. So now we have to move it inside so we can make use of fun stuff, which is in particular dependency injection of NestJS and more fun stuff. So we do want the adventurers to be here, and it's an adventurer service. And this one gets injected. And then we say private read-only adventurers. This can also be read-only, by the way. Which is an adventurer service. Rhymes. And what does it say? Its value is never read. And it's also not initialized. So this dot adventurers equals adventurers. So now we have our adventurer service, and we need to move this method inside and make it a public. No, it's private. It doesn't need to do anything. We need this one to have the correct scope. This dot handle message. Expected 4 arguments got 0. In that case, let's do it like this. Dot bind this. So we need to define that is handled in the correct scope, which is this chatbot service if we pass it to the TMI client. That's why we have to bind this, which means it's really calling chatbot service.handle message and not TMI client.handle message, because this would change if we don't bind the chatbot to it. If there's, hope that's halfway clear. If not, we can dive into that more deeply. Binding this and the concept of this in JavaScript is fairly complex and annoying. So we have this handle message, which we can now make into a class. We can also, I think we do want to have the battle, which is in fact changeable, and it is a battle. or it's null. And at the beginning it is null. So what do we have here? So now things get slightly more clear, I hope. So if we receive a message from Twitch, then we call this function. So far so good. Okay, if ignore message by chatbot itself. So if it is the chatbot itself, we just return. We don't do anything. If not, then we grab the username, and if there is no username, we don't want to do anything. Okay, so far good, so good. I don't think we need that part here anymore. We do need this part. We don't need the this was basically just for debugging, I think. So we don't need that part. Say is essentially just console logging, an abstraction around console logging, because at some point we want to send the messages back to Twitch chat. And now, so once we have the message and we have the username, we can do fun stuff. We can say, if it is an ambush, we want this punkt battle to be a new battle. A new battle has been initiated. And in theory, we could also create the monster here. But let's not do it though now. Then, battle has now started. From now on, we can join. In fact, I would like to do, if not this.battle, then we just return. So only ambush can be called without any further stuff. Now we know there is a battle from here on. That means if somebody wants to join, we get them from the adventurers service, and we create somebody, and it has to be a create adventurer DTO, which looks like just the username. Okay, it's new create adventurer DTO. Can we just do username? Yeah, apparently that works. So to give some context, we have a REST API actually set up for the adventurers, which we kind of do not use now. And that's why we had this create whatnot. Yeah. Next, after that, the adventurer can actually join the battle. And that's the join. If we at least implement this part, right? So there's an adventurer here, and it's an adventurer, and he wants to join the battle. Adventurer. That didn't work. Why not? Promise of adventurer is not assignable. We have to, of course, await the create. Why art thou not saying wait is working? Okay. We need an async here. That should still work, I hope. Yeah, it should still work. Hopefully it does. Yeah, I think it should still work. I think that's our join logic. As of then, we can start with the fun stuff. Let's first of all start the game loop here. So let's get back to the battle. We do have the monster. We do have people who can join. And now we need to start the game loop, which is a timer most of the time. And is it global dot, or is it just set interval, I think? Yeah, no. Global dot, set interval. We need to get the Node.js timeout, yeah. So important point, TypeScript looks at this and thinks it's a browser. And in the browser, you have this function and it returns a number, which is the ID. But we want to have the Node.js part because we are working in Node.js, right? And not in the browser anymore. So we have this, and we also need the timer here, private timer. And it says, what type is it? Node.js.timeout. So, and now I think we can do stuff. I think we can copy again. Somewhere in here we should see interval. Timer interval. Where do we create this? Here. So what do we do here? We call the function that a monster does attack, and it calls it every few seconds. So let's do pretty much the same. We want this dot. We want this dot monster dot attack actually. Although I'm not quite sure yet how to put in the adventurer here. And we want some, let's just put it here, const this one equals, I think 30 seconds are fine. So now we have to think about shall we call this timer or shall we call it game loop? Maybe that's actually better. Oops. Let's call it game loop. We somehow have to inject the, yeah, okay, let's maybe do this then. This dot on monster turn. And we do private on monster turn. Let's call it monster attack because that's what we're actually doing, right? And we do want the monster to attack, but we also need to find an enemy. Two options. Either we let the battle decide who attacks, or, which would be closer to the domain, actually the monster sees all the enemies in the party, right? So it should know the party, if you ask me, from a logical perspective. This arrow here. What do you guys think? We can keep it simple, or we can abstract it away. Abstracting it away means the monster could theoretically have an algorithm to decide who it's going to attack. Because currently it's just basically, okay, attack anyone. But it might just actually be deciding who to attack. So basically, decide who to attack. Or decide attack target. Maybe keep it simple for now. Okay, let's do that. In that case, we do basically the same that we have in the chatbot, right? We have monster target here somewhere. It'd be easier to win for now. You were right. Yeah. I didn't think about that part. The lose battle logic is also inside of here, yeah. No, actually it should just return for now. If there is no monster target. Random target, let's call it like that. If there is no random target, then return, else attack. Yep. This must be this dot party, and this must be this dot party again. And I think that's about it. Random target, not, it's an adventurer, right? Okay, now we can use magic, declare a method. Thank you. There we go. Thank you for putting it in the wrong place. I did have in another project set up a very nice linter, which automatically just on save moved everything to the right place. Public methods to the top and private methods to lower, and data fields to the top and the constructor somewhere in the middle. That was pretty neat. And in particular, lines between two methods. Oh, I hate it. I hate it when it looked like this. Not enough space to think. So it's just an adventurer. Actually, it's just a target, right? Wait. What do we have here? The adventurer takes damage. Let's call him adventurer for now. And we do so we say const damage is, where is the damage? It's this line exactly. We hopefully can, no, why you do not import? It doesn't like to import random for whatever reason. From Lodash. Thank you. So we now have the damage. Yeah. So this is attack damage. Looking at it again. So the adventurer dot take damage comes now into play. There might also be like something armor reduction, right? Which could be analyzed here as well. So for everybody who's new to the stream, who just joined, we're currently building kind of a DnD chatbot, and we are basically a game with the help of in the Twitch chatbot. Basically Final Fantasy or DnD if you want to. Turn-based battle where the battle is started by a specific command. Then the monster attacks every like 30 seconds, I think, or 20 seconds. The adventurers can do one attack every 20 seconds as well, or 30 seconds. The adventurers work together and try to defeat the monster, and that's where we are. Currently, we are working with NestJS, which makes it slightly nicer because we can actually save the progress of the adventurers, which we already do. This import is wrong. // perfect. And then we have the adventurer. Take damage. Do it. Now, hopefully this works. I'm not 100% sure whether type goose is so clever, because in Mongoose there's a concept called virtuals, which you have to add to your schema to ignore essentially properties, because schemas in Mongoose, like plain Mongoose, they are not like these nice classes, right? They are basically just mostly data that you put inside, JSON almost. And there you define something called virtuals to help you get over that. Virtuals are basically properties on the schema object or on the document, but they are not persisted in the database. So a property that is not stored in the MongoDB. Virtuals are typically used for computed properties. So if you want to learn more about that, you can find something there. What do they do here? They define a virtual domain which cuts out the domain part of the email address. So everything after the @ sign. So for gmail.com, test.@gmail.com, it would just return gmail.com. But you don't want to save the duplicate data into the database. That's why you define via virtuals. Type goose, I think we can just define this and everything is fine. I hope. Let's see. We take damage and we do put inside damage, which is a number, not the capital number. Thank you. And we do this dot. Oh, they don't have HP. Ha 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 ha. HP equals this dot HP minus damage. Like so, except that they don't have any. So that's probably one thing that we want to fix. And we say, let's give them a default value of currently, I think they have 130. And 130 is not too bad. Actually, people have died and it was always a close battle. At least as long as we were enough people in the chat. 150 apparently. Here we go. 150. And we call it HP. And its number equals 150. Now, anything else? I hope, yeah, I think for now we can just remove the database for once and then recreate it, and everything should be fine. So that's our HP. Next up, I think we can remove the party. We do have take damage, and it now needs a number, which is damage. And voila, our adventurer has taken some damage. Next. Is that it? I think that's it, right? It changes it, and the monster is finished. Anything I forgot on the monster level? Because here comes the fun stuff. We have to persist all the data. So we can either do it on, to do persist data. We can either do it on the end of the battle or in between, in case something goes wrong. Probably we want to do it at the end, right? Yeah, let's just do it at the end, so that we don't forget it. Somebody has to persist the data. Not sure who. It's not really the part of the battle domain. Oops. Okay, so when a monster attacks, it attacks. And other than that, I think it also needs to, sorry about that, this punct party dot for each. For each party member, which is an adventurer, it should reset the can attack. Reset attack stop. Reset has attacked. Yeah, let's do it like this. And why do I do it as a method? I could just assign a Boolean value, but I think will it make the domain more readable if we add this? It definitely transfers some degree of, okay, something. Well, actually, what do we want to say? The adventurer is blocked from attacking, right? So reset attack block or unblock attack, something like that, maybe, because then we express better that there's something that gets blocked at least. Which is not visible if we don't include it. Public unblock attack. It's up there. Public unblock attack, and it needs to have a property, but it does not need to be persisted. Private attack has attacked, essentially. Has attacked this turn. Is false at the beginning. And this dot has attacked gets reset to false. Yeah. So that's also dealt with. So everybody can attack again. Now comes the fun stuff, I think. Which is making. Did we forget anything on the monster attack? Let's maybe look at that quickly. Where did the monster actually attack? Wait, what? Here. And now I wanted to find that in this code. Monster attack. There it is. Here we also say whether it is dead or not. So what we can do is so actually let's make it like this maybe. Wait, what? What does it do? It basically tries to attack, which is fine up to here. And if the monster is if the person has been killed, then it says something. Which is how do we model that part? Because it has to be on the level of the chatbot. It has to be on the level of the chatbot. We can maybe what can we do there? We could just do it inside of the battle, but that would destroy the plan of having it completely independent of the chatbot, of the surroundings. We can export something like people the name of the adventurers that have recently died. That would be an option. Any other ideas? Everything's welcome. We could moving the game logic up, the game loop. Doesn't, is that an option? I don't know. By the way, we can, I think, abstract this one away. If it allows me to. No code action available. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. One more thing here. So here we reset. That's fine. That one you handle. We also do all of that. Wait, what did I want it to do? We have to remove the adventurer from the party if he dies. Not that easy. Because we also cannot really remove them without saving them somewhere else. Because we still need to persist them. Right? So man, complicated. Okay, what do we do here? Let's maybe first move on and model the domain slightly more. And then we try to figure out how to connect it to the top level. I think that should somehow we probably make it work. Then yeah, we will make it work. So if we have an attack, somebody should attack. We do find the user. Let's see. We do have the username. So we can probably just say here, oops, public attack of adventurer, which is a username in this case, a string. Adventurer username, which is just a string. And then we do this dot party dot find adventurer maps to adventurer dot username equals username. Const adventurer equals this. If there is no adventurer found, then we just return. If there is somebody, then what? We need to determine if not adventurer or not adventurer dot can attack. Wait, no, I think we can remove that. Adventurer dot attack. Nope. Attack the monster. Something like that. And now the adventurer determines whether he can attack or not. Where's the attack? There we go. Public attack. And he attacks a monster. Cyclic imports. Cyclic imports. That's bad. Maybe. Yeah. I think we need an abstraction as of this point. Let's ignore that. To do, probably need abstraction iMonster due to cyclic import. So, but let's assume everything is fine. What happens then? We determine our strength, which is exactly the code from the monster, and then we attack it. We need to import random again from Lodash. And we do monster.take damage, which does not exist. And we declare it. And I think we can just copy it from here. Oh, bad. Like so. And that's it. So monster cannot be found. Where did the monster go? List.monster. Okay, that was easy. Here I made a mistake. Adventurer username. So. And then I try to attack the monster. Okay, perfect. Now, let's maybe call this onTick because it's a game loop. or we call it next tick. On tick, because it gets called. Here, what happens if the monster is actually killed? So it is dead. We can say this dot, how did we call it? Has ended. So this dot is this dot finished. Dot that. This dot finished. Yeah, let's call them is finished. Is true. And this is going to be used outside to determine whether the battle is still ongoing. We can also clear the timer. Actually, we can just clear the timer, right? Which is basically the same then. We say this is probably maybe null. And we say this dot game loop equals null. And that's it. And then we do public has finished, or let's say we make a getter, public get has finished, which says turn not this dot game loop. Okay. Let's get up to the top. And now we can determine from the chatbot whether the battle is still ongoing. We still need to determine whether the monster is dead. Let's go into the monster and we give it a public get is dead. Return this dot HP is smaller than 0. So these getters are pretty nice. There's also a corresponding set, of course. And because from the outside, you can basically use them like properties, but they're actually functions. And they act in the TypeScript interfaces, they look still like properties, which is pretty cool. I think that's again a JavaScript internal thing, because if I'm not mistaken, data fields always are actually an object that have a set function and a get function. And if you want to read the value, it basically calls the get function. And TypeScript uses that to make it more visible and gives some nice, yeah, basically it just uses it. Okay, so we can now and that's why we can here use is dead. And from the outside, it just looks like a Boolean, while in the inside, it's actually this function, which can, of course, do some complex logic and stuff. So, all right. So now we can determine whether it's finished. We can actually we want to completely clear the timer, right? We of course have to do that. I think we call clear timeout for that, or clear interval. This one. And we put inside this dot game loop. Why art thou not working? At this point, we know it is defined. So I'm just gonna put the ignore this this message TypeScript. Okay, so now we clear it. We also make it available, and then it never gets called again because it calls itself and it clears itself up. And now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? What? Now what? Now what? What are we actually missing? Let's maybe try to understand that. So we can join, we can ambush. We can attack. We cannot win so far. We can determine whether something is finished, but we do not know who has actually won. Public get is victory. So how do we want to model that? So what I was about to do is just do something like this. Return this dot part monster dot is dead. Or we can do something like winner, which returns monster or party or null. And we do something like if this dot monster is dead, then return party. Else if this dot party dot party dot do. I would like to not remove people from the party somewhat. I think we can do that. So we can do something like this dot party dot every, which means if the thing that happens inside of here, adventurer maps to adventurer dot is dead, then return monster. Else return null. Not a string null. So every is one of the kind of the fourth nice little neat function of arrays in a more functional style, which is, so we have, let's see, for each we have map, we have reduce, and every we also have filter. Okay, this is the fifth one. Every returns where the this condition is fulfilled for every member of the party, for every adventurer. I see that is dead is not defined. We can just define it fairly simply by doing this. And I do see that we forgot one thing. If the adventurer has already attacked this turn, he should just return. He should not attack again. Probably that makes it slightly clearer. Okay. Then, where were we? So, we can determine the winner. We can determine whether it was the party, the monster, or null. And now... Let's see. I think we need to put things together now on the chatbot. So we can ambush, we can join, we can attack, and we can even win the battle. We can also lose the battle. Yeah. I think I forgot. Let's extract this const every adventurer dead. Oh. Party down. How does the chatbot get to know about what happens in the battle? Because it has to render stuff. That's the important question now. Other than that, I'm fairly happy with the overall design. Let's try to model it. So we did do this. We did also do this part. We need to write some messages here as well. We need to say something. Where is join party? Essentially, we want this, right, to be right here. And we call it private join party of username. Then we want to do all of this. And it should be, whoops, what just happened? You should put async there, and you should this dot join party of username, and you should await it. And object is possibly null. I see. Can avoid that by doing this here. Okay. So username joined the battle alongside you. Party is not defined. I have to run, fellow adventurers. It's been an honor sharing the battle with you all today. Yeah, thank you so much, H. Kostovich, to hang out with us again. It was a pleasure. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye-bye. We are trying to continue some more here. Figuring out how we best split between rendering and Twitch related stuff and the game logic, because we currently are on a trip where we want to split those two. Okay. Then, so we can join the party. Let's do the attack next. So we would write something like this.battle.attack, and then adventurer username, which is just the username. Bams. We've got that one covered, which is essentially, I think, all of this. And here, currently we determine whether someone can still attack at this point. I think it might actually be a good place. This.battle. Has finished. Why do we need this twice? I think we can just remove this one. Dot winner. If there's a winner. Yeah. We can do something like this. Public get has finished. Wait, what did I just remove? Not this point game loop. I would actually like to change this into not this dot winner, because then it relies on each other. Or it's fine. Okay. If it has finished, then what? We try to find out who has finished. If this.battle.winner is equal to the monster, interesting. Okay, never mind. I was confused for a moment why it provides me with these two options, but null is of course not a string. That's why. In that case, there's no winner yet. Then do this stuff. If there is a winner, if this.battle.winner, then we try to find out who, and depending on that, we say, so the battle has ended. We already know that. I think we can say, where is it? Defeat? How did I call that? Defeat. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Something like that. If this.battle.winner is the party, then say monster.name is not defined. Let's see how that goes. If the winner is the party, we have win battle, then we say something like this. Okay. Now, this is just a string, right? The problem that I see now is we do not actually have the monster available, nor the party, nor anything of that, nor anything of this. So this is an issue, and this is an issue, and this is an issue. But I think we can Do we? I think the easiest is to just put the formatting of the string inside battle, but not how it actually says it. So if we put this part here inside the battle, thank you. Public get win, get party victory message. Then we can just return this string, and the battle still doesn't know anything about the chatbot, but it has a complete control over the monster and the party. So I think that's not too bad. And still readable. Yeah. Let's go with that one. So we put inside of here this dot battle dot victory message, and I actually put it in the wrong place. Why did you not warn me? So we can public get defeat message, which is this string, turn, and we do this dot monster, and monster is defined definitely. So that's fine. Let's move these two to the top somewhere. There we go. Or even one above that, because they are slightly. Yeah, the problem that I have with these is that they are not really part of the battle. The battle does not care about the message. This is basically display logic. The battle does care about the party and the monster and so on. On the other hand, I don't want the party and the monster to be exposed to the outside world. I could just export a list of the usernames. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. What do you guys think? So that would be like public get adventurer names, which is then return party dot map, and we pick. No, not a function declaration. I want to import it from Node.js. We pick we need to give it an object. Why do we need to give it an object? It's not curried. Okay. In that case, we do adventurer dot maps to adventurer dot username. Bams. And we do public get monster name. And the HP. HP are going to be a problem again. Return this dot monster dot name. I'm missing brackets here. So now with that, we can, I think, move back one step here, and we say this dot battle battle, Jesus Christ, battle.monsterName here, and we say this.battle.monsterName here, and we say we say this.battle.party name, username, adventurer names, dot join, whatever. That works. We can also use that up above for join party, which does not see the party anymore, but we can do so instead of having party.map to the username, we just do this.battle.adventurer names. Exactly. We can also just say battle dot, like so. And when battle is done, except we want to move this down, which we might actually do. Oops, extract method on party victory, or on victory. Why do you not know? Okay. We can just put these question marks here, and we actually know they are defined, definitely. And instead of using the exclamation mark, we can also just use the question mark. Either way, it is defined. We definitely know that part. So we also can do that for this guy here. On defeat, and we say is the battle question mark whatever, and we actually don't need to check for the winner. We can just do it like this. So if if a user attacks, then the party can win, but the monster cannot win at this point. We still need to find a way to make the monster actually do stuff, and we also need to find a way to make the we need to find two things to do. Multiple things, I think. Let's go to the README, maybe. I think that's a good point. Now, so we are in the object-oriented implementation. We do use adventurer. We do not persist progress yet, but that's one more task to do. We did design the domain. We also where is, I think we can remove these two. We need to find a way to display attack messages. That's one part. We need to find a way to on victory, handle victory. That one is actually done, I think. We need to find a way to handle defeat, which is not yet done, I think, because, well, we do call this method but it has to be called actually in a more regular case. And we need to find out how. Maybe with some callback to do. Should be called on battle.gameloop tick. Right? That's definitely one. We also have some more resolve to-dos. And I think then we are in the position of having actually the complete app working again, and in a way that I think is very extendable. Even if we currently have some degree of code bloat probably, it's much more manageable and it's clearer who does what. Okay. With that said, I thank you for joining me today again. Let's have another sip of tea. And of course, high five team. Good job. We did make a lot of progress, I think. We still also need to, let me put that, throw out that code and fix import, which is it? Dependency injection issues. Because currently I think everything fails. Yeah. We can probably remove most of the stuff by now, but I think it's time for now to finish. So thank you so much. Everything that we do here on stream, and I will push all of this, which is work in progress now, because it's broken. Domain design and basic, essentially event handling, Twitch event handling. Although everything is broken at this point, we did make a bunch of progress, I think, and things are going to be even more awesome from now on. You can find everything that we do on the GitHub. What else do we have? I appreciate everybody for joining. Thank you so much. And did I forget anything? Let's see here in my clever list that I have. Yeah. Please join me again, and feel free to leave a follow if you like